Hello there. I did some potting today, so my pants are dirty, but I know you won't care. Our Windmill Intermediate Class is covering the full windmill, which is an overhead rotation, utilizing the pelvis tilt and finding kind of like a yoga triangle pose. Today we're going to be working with a light dumbbell. Option for a medium weight kettlebell. This is a 10 kilo bell. And then obviously you've got your water. Let's start in child's pose. Find the back of your mat. Big toes touch, knees separate wide. Hips to heels and forehead to the floor. Child's pose is here for you whenever you need it, so make sure you come back to this when you get out of breath or a little overwhelmed. Downward facing dog. Toes curl under, hips rise. Eyes on your kneecaps and pedal it out. Bend the right knee and bend the left knee. Rock your hips side to side. Let your shoulders sway. Work open your toes, your feet, your ankles. Vinyasa, modified for our first couple. Inhale to a high plank and lower your knees down to the mat. Lower your belly all the way down, baby cobra, hands by the hips, inhale, head and chest lift, and exhale, lower. Belly tight to lift, exhale, lower. Press down with the tops of the feet as you rise, and exhale, lower. Do this 2 more times. Press back up to a tabletop position, into downward facing dog. Pedal it out, 3 breaths here. Try to get your chest a little closer to your thighs. Press from the heels of your hands. Inhale to a high plank, modify with the knees down. Exhale to a low plank, all the way belly down. Release your hands down by your thighs. The palms face the floor. Inhale, head and chest, legs lift. Exhale, lower. Your thighs lift with your head and chest every inhale, and your belly is tight as you lift. Do this 3 more times. Come back through a tabletop position. Toes curl under, downward facing dog. Star Rider is coming to check me out. She's saying hello. 3 breaths in your downward dog. Lots of motion. Walk your heels out. And on your next inhale, come to a high plank. Lower to a low plank. Inhale to upward facing dog with your thighs on the ground and shake it out. Starting to open up our lower back. Press back to a downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Maybe you bend your knees a lot and get your belly on your thighs. On your inhale, find a high plank, low push-up position. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Tricep tap. Inhale your left leg to the sky, stack open your hips, roll out your ankle, and wiggle your toes. Exhale, touch knee to elbow. Inhale, toes lift. Exhale, knee to elbow. Do this 8 times. Each time you reach your knee to your elbow, you're contracting your side obliques, so you want your knee to go real wide to the side, outside the midline of your body. Each inhale, stack open the hips and squeeze gluteus minimus, your outer top glute, to lift your knee higher to the sky. Dragon twist. Step your left foot outside your left hand. Drop your bottom knee to the ground. Inhale, left hand to the sky. Twist open, belly tight, eyes up, and hold. Hip flexor stretch and hamstring stretch. Rock your hips back, hamstring stretch on the left side, and then rock your hips forward, hip flexor stretch on your right side. 3 pulses on each position. Rock your hips back for the hamstring stretch, 3 pulses, and rock your hips forward for the hip flexor stretch, 3 pulses. And do this again. Hamstring stretch into hip flexor stretch. And one more time. Hamstring stretch to hip flexor stretch. Side angle. Left hand grabs your left ankle or place the palm down on the ground. Right hand to the sky and hug your knee against your shoulder. Vinyasa. Both hands to the mat. Find a plank position. Low push-up. Inhale to upward facing dog, shoulders away from the ears, and exhale downward facing dog. Tricep tap on the other side. Right leg to the sky, stack open the hips, roll out your ankle, wiggle your toes, squeeze gluteus minimus. Exhale, knee goes wide around and touch elbow. Inhale, leg lifts, and exhale, tricep tap. Each tricep tap, side oblique contracts so your knee is wide around the side. Each inhale, bring your knee higher up to the sky, squeeze gluteus minimus at the top. Do this 2 more times. Dragon twist. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Inhale, right hand to the sky. Left knee can lower down to the ground. Belly tight. Eyes look up. Rotate here. Hamstring stretch to hip flexor stretch. Rock your hips back on your heel. Stretch the front hamstring, and then rock your hips forward and stretch the left hip flexor. Again, rock back, hamstring stretch. Rock forward, hip flexor stretch. Again, rock back to a hamstring stretch, toes curl under, belly tight. Rock forward, hip flexor stretch, small pulses. Last time for your hamstring stretch, and then come forward for side angle. Grab your ankle with your right hand or place your palm down on the ground. Left fingers to the sky, belly tight, eyes up, and hold. Vinyasa. Both hands down, step back to a high plank, lower to low push-up, inhale to upward dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg to the sky and small pulses. You want your toes to turn open wide so your hips are stacked. Squeeze gluteus minimus for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And lower down. Right leg lifts, toes turn out, small pulses at the top. Teeny tiny. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Warrior 2. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Windmill your arms open into Warrior 2. Your back left heel is down on the ground and your toes are turned open to the side. Stack your shoulders over your hips, small pulses here. Extending and trying to get a longer stance. Your tailbone is down, your belly is active, and your right knee moves towards the pinky edge of your right foot. Side angle, right elbow to thigh, left hand to sky, and eyes look up. Your forearm presses down in our overhead rotation position. Can you get your palm to the floor and lower your hips a little more? Triangle, windmill both arms up back to Warrior 2. Straighten your right leg. Flip your palms up. Tilt forward. And then come back to center. Tilt forward and come back to center. This pelvis tilt is going to be repeated in our windmill today. Now right hand to ankle, left hand to the sky, and hold. Feel the inner thigh stretch, the hamstring stretch, and your side obliques work to keep you lifted, so you're constantly trying to reach the sky. On your inhale, come up, turn both toes open wide. We're in a wide straddle stance. Lunge. Bend the right knee, bend the left knee, send your hips back, pull your belly tight, and feel a deeper inner thigh stretch. Do 4 more. Warrior 2 to side angle on the other side. Just pivot, toes, open stance, and sink hips down. shoulders stack over hips, tailbone down, belly tight. Hold your lowest point. Place forearm on thigh. Reach fingers to sky. Eyes look up. Challenge. Can you get your palm down to the floor on the inside arch of your foot? Your stance has to get a little wider and hips sink a little lower. On your inhale, windmill both arms up, warrior two, into triangle. Straighten both legs, tilt the hips, your palms flip up and you reach forward. Come back to normal center and then reach forward again. Hand to ankle, eyes look up. Your side obliques activate to pick you up off of your ankle. You don't want all of your torso weight on that shin. Groin stretch. Come back through center. Your toes point open in a wide stance. Start by bending both knees and small pulses. Now find your lowest point and bring your hands to your inner thighs. Drop the right shoulder and drop the left shoulder, right and left side, prying open your thighs. Side plank. Bring both hands down to the mat, pivot to face the front of your mat, step both feet back, and drop your heels right to left. This is the modification. It's a log roll, but we're aiming for a full side plank. So you drop heels, hand to the sky, and then switch. Drop heels, hand to the sky. Do this 6 times. Your inner thighs activate by pressing down through the inside arch of your foot. Your hand stacks under your shoulder, and this is our mimic for our windmill position. You're getting used to load on a single arm, extended at a 90-degree angle. Hip thrust. Hop both feet outside your hands and hop both feet back into plank. Forward and back 8 times. Long cycle. Hop both feet forward, get a sip of water if you need it, and then grab your dumbbell or your kettlebell. Long cycle was featured in a previous class. There's a whole series on it if you need it. Grab the bell in your right hand, rack it with 2 hands, and press it with 2 hands is your modification. You catch with both hands, press with both hands, come back to center position and back to the floor. Do that 10 times. Advanced option is a rack position, 1 arm overhead press, back to rack, and back to the ground if you need to. Rack position, elbow moves forward on the way up, forward on the way down, and back to the floor. Option is a full long cycle. Your overhead press goes down into rack, into the clean, back to rack. The quarter swing is close to the groin, against the inner thighs. Do 3 more. Switch sides. Left hand has the bell. Your modification is to catch with 2 hands, press with 2 hands, and bring back to center. Otherwise, you're doing long cycle, 10 reps on the left side. If you're pressing with 2 hands, know that you have the support of both arms, but you're aiming for a rack position and then a 1-arm press. Windmills are a 1-arm drill, so you really need to have confidence in the 1-arm overhead position before you can begin this class. For those of you doing full long cycle with a quarter swing, you have 4 more. Nice job. Overhead rotation. Move the kettlebell off the front end of the mat and grab your dumbbell. Dumbbell starts in your right hand. You're in a wide stance. Press the dumbbell and hold. Turn your toes out. Your eyes look up at the weight. And your left forearm presses against your left thigh as you take a seat. Both knees are bent and your eyes look up. Come up to a standing position and come back down. This is considered just overhead rotation, not actual windmill. So do this maybe 3 or 4 more times. All you're doing is greasing the groove. You're getting used to utilizing the weight overhead with the rotation element. Now switch hands. Your toes are open. Your eyes look up. You watch the weight overhead. And then you press forearm against thigh. Do this 8 times. You're looking up overhead the entire time you're rotating. You want to know where the bell is at all times. Resist looking at a mirror or forward at the TV. Just look at the bell as you rotate. Nice job. Let's move the dumbbells out of the way. Get a sip of water if you need it. We're going on with our kettlebell. If you're not confident with the kettlebell, you could always use a heavier dumbbell. Bring the bell to the middle of the mat. We're going to do 5 reps on each side. So 5 on the left and 5 on the right. Grab your bell with your right hand, rack it, press it, and hold it. Eyes look up, toes turn out, wide stance, bring left elbow to left thigh. Come back to standing position. 4 more. Look up and watch it. 3 more. 2. And 1. Exhale back to rack. Place your hand on top. Move the bell to the other side. Overhead press. Eyes look up. Bend both knees. Right forearm to right thigh. 5 of them. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Swing. Face the front of the mat. 2-handed swing. Through the groin and chest height. There's a full swing series with a series of classes that'll teach you how to do a 2-handed swing. Your modification is just a deadlift. You've got your tunes going. Some good music, I hope. These classes don't have any music so that you can play your own. Keep swinging. Do 5 more. And bells come down. Move the bell off the front end of your mat. Get a sip of water. We're moving on to a full windmill. Grab your dumbbell. Step to the middle of your mat. Dumbbell is in your right hand. Your left toes turn open. So your toes are in a wide triangle stance. Press the bell overhead and hold. The key element is your right hip. Your right hip shifts back, so all your body weight is in your right leg. Your goal is to keep your left leg straight, your eyes look up, your left hand slides down your left leg to your ankle, and exhale, come back up to the top. Watch me do it 1 or 2 times before you begin. You have 4 on each side. The pivot initiates with the hip tilt. I utilize my fingers to feel my way down to my ankle since my eyes are looking up. Switch sides. Dumbbell in your left hand, your right toes turn open. Shift the hips, shift the weight into your left leg. Press, eyes look up. Right fingertips feel down the thigh. to the ankle and come back up. Do this like 4 or 5 times. Your side obliques work to get you back up. Your gluteus minimus works to get you back up. Can you do one more? Nice job. Move the dumbbell out of the way, and if you want to progress to the kettlebell, go ahead. Otherwise, you'll use a dumbbell for a second set. Let's talk about our stance. Here you are in your right side stance. You can go with long legs or you can go narrower. It all depends upon your flexibility. From the overhead position, once you're in your windmill, you're going to resist letting your arm go back behind you. That's a real dangerous part, so you want to stack the hand right over the shoulder. I'll show you from a different perspective. Here we are in our windmill, hand stacked over shoulder, but if I go too far back, that's the danger part. So we want to stay a little bit more forward. Let's set up our left side. Left toes turn open. Wide stance is totally okay if it's good with you. I like more narrow. Right hand to the sky. Left fingertips slide down, your eyes look up, and then remember, if you go too far back, it's not good. You need to keep the hand right over the shoulder. Here it is from a different perspective. Right over shoulder versus too far back. That's a no. Okay, let's move on, utilizing either a heavier dumbbell or the kettlebell. The bell starts on the inside of your left foot. Your right toes turn open to the front of the mat. Bend both knees, rack it on the left side, press it and hold it. Hips will shift, your eyes look up, hand slides down to the ankle, move slow, and exhale, come back up. You're not watching me, you're not watching the TV, you're listening to my voice, and your eyes are looking at your kettlebell the whole time. Do this 4 more times. Start by shifting the weight into the left leg, the hips transition to the left side, your right fingers trace the right leg. Nice job. Switch. Rack it on the right. Left toes turn open. Find your comfortable stance. Shift the weight into the right leg. Press it. Eyes look up. Hold it. Left hand traces down to your ankle and come back up. If you can't make it to the ankle, that's fine. Maybe just go to the shin or the knee. But you're doing this 5 more times. You're moving slow, inhale to lower, and exhale to come back up. Your side obliques work as you lower, and your glute works as you come back up. Just 1 more, and rack it. Nice job. We're gonna do a second set. Bell on the left side. Left toes point to the side of the mat, front toes point to the front of the mat. Press, hold, eyes up, shift the weight into the left leg, hips go left, and right fingertips trace to ankle and come back up. Can you do this 5 times on your own? Your belly is extra braced. Bend your knees if you need to. Eyes follow your fingers. Move with your own breath. Exhale to stand up. Switch sides. Left toes turn open. Right hand overhead press. Eyes up. Shift the weight, slide the hand to ankle, and exhale, come back up. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And last one. Nice job. We'll do it 1 more time. Left side rack. Press, hold. Right toes are open. Find ankle, exhale, come up. 5 of them. Nice job. Switch sides. Left toes open, right hand press, left fingers find ankle. Eyes look up. Belly is tight. 2 more. Last one. And swing. Great job. Come back into rack position. Alternate hand exchange or 2-handed swing if you need it. Do 20 swings. Bell stays close to the groin. Belly tight as you bow. Over halfway there. Do 2 more and then bells down. Move the bell off the front end of the mat. Congratulations, you did your windmill. Get a sip of water, let's recover. Windshield wipe the knees. Take a seat, place your hands behind your back, feet on the floor, knees bent, rock knees right and left 8 times. If you need a longer recovery, I recommend the Windmill Stretch class. Reverse tabletop. Your knees come to center, feet hip distance apart, toes point forward, and fingertips point towards your toes. Exhale, lift the hips, and inhale to lower. Do this 4 times. On the 4th one, find your highest point and let your head rest back on your shoulders. Hold it at the top for 3, hold it for 2, and release. Figure floor. Rider's saying hi because she's hungry. Place your right ankle on top of your left thigh, flex your right toes, lift the chest, and if you need to, come up to hands for a deeper stretch. Move your right knee away from your torso. Rider is very hungry. And switch sides. Left ankle crosses over right thigh, flex the foot, lift the chest, and if you need a bigger stretch, come up to hands. Inhale to come on up, take a seat, find any comfortable seated position, get some water, and know that you did a great job today. Rider says goodbye. She's hungry and it's time for her dinner. Say bye, Rider. We'll see you next time.